In today's inquiry video, we are going to be looking at how to find the area of a trapezoid. So you're going to need a pen, some scissors, some scraps of graph paper. All right, so let's go over some key terminology before we begin. Now, we remember a trapezoid is a quadrilateral, meaning it is a shape that has four sides, and it has two opposite sides that are parallel to one another, but the other set of opposite sides are not parallel. Okay, so this trapezoid has one set of parallel sides and the other side is not parallel. Now, the way that we label or what we name the different sides of a trapezoid is we call one side base 1 and the other side base 2. And you can see here where it's B1 and B2. And then we have the height of the trapezoid. Okay, so the same way that we would derive the height of a triangle or that of a parallelogram, it is from the top of the trapezoid and we make a straight line down that bisects the opposite, not bisects, excuse me, that crosses at a perpendicular right angle. So this line and that line are perpendicular to one another, and it makes a little right angle. Okay, so moving on, what I'd like you to do now is together we are going to be drawing a parallelogram, and we are going to be using that parallelogram to derive the formula for the trapezoid. Okay, so your parallelogram, I want you to make it with a base of 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and then I want it to have a height of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I want it to, the angle that it's coming out at, so the height of it, I want you to put it at 3 little centimeters across. So 1, 2, 3. So that corner, and then that means 1, 2, 3. And then that corner, there we go. And go ahead and draw your parallelogram. Okay, so here we go. Your parallelogram now should look like this. Okay, so yesterday we used the parallelogram to derive the formula for a triangle. So we took this and we cut it from diagonal, the corner, all the way to the other corner, a complete diagonal to make 2 identical triangles. Today, we're going to be cutting this parallelogram to create 2 identical trapezoids. Okay, so if I were to take and count over the same number of squares here and there. So if I count over, let's do like 3. 1, 2, 3. Make a dot there. And then on this side, 1, 2, 3. And draw a line from there to there. What I've done is I now have created 2 identical trapezoids. So go ahead and pause that if you need to, if you're still drawing. I'm going to go ahead and cut that out here. Okay, so I have my parallelogram. Okay, now I'm going to take this parallelogram, and this line that I've drawn is exactly in half. So I have these 2 identical trapezoid, and I know they're identical because I can take this one, and I can flip it and turn it and lay it on top of the other. Okay, so a parallelogram can be made from taking a trapezoid, and imagine you're doing a copy paste, right? Copy, paste, and then flipping it. And now you have a parallelogram. Now, we can use that formula that we know for how to find the area of parallelogram and apply it to the trapezoid. We just have to think about what information we have to figure it out. Okay, so here we go. Let's put it down. We know that the area of a parallelogram, area, equals base times the height. Okay, so if the area of a parallelogram is base times the height, we have to figure out what is the base of this parallelogram in terms of the trapezoid, okay? So the parallelogram, we know it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, right? So the base we know is 10. And the height we know is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Base times the height, which we know is 5. Excuse me, that needs to be a 5. So the area of this whole entire parallelogram is 50. Now, we need to figure out then what it is, what the trapezoid is. So we know that we've made it in half. So we need to take that 50, cut it in half or divide by 2, and that equals 25. So we know the area of this trapezoid is 25. Okay, so if you're starting with just the trapezoid though, and they didn't give you that entire parallelogram, how would you know that the base was 10, right? Because they give, you could see the height straight away, right? Let's draw that. Actually, I should do that in blue. You can see the height of the trapezoid, right? So we can make that straight line that's perpendicular to the base. We know that that's 5. But how could we figure out the entire base of the parallelogram? Well, if I copy paste, right? So copy, paste, and flip, what is the other part of the base? It's the top of the original trapezoid, right? So we know in this you can do the base, this base, which we know the labels would be base 1 plus base 2 multiplied by the height all over 2. There we go. So that's the formula for how you find the area of a trapezoid.